Welcome to DoK Students Day. How are you doing?
Thank you for such the welcoming welcome. I'm so excited to be here. I'm doing really well. I'm so glad, like I said, I'm so glad to be here. And, I couldn't refuse because I was like, I just love what DOK stands for. I love the community. I love how everyone's so passionate, curious, wise, and just so welcoming. So I'm excited to be here. And honestly, like to be able to follow up with that panel as well just means the world to me because all of the insights were so great, even from the standpoint of like, how do you manage a community? How do you communicate? Like, how do you actually make it a two-way communication channel, right? Like, how do you make a community a community? So I just freaking love that. And it's great for anyone. Like it's an open audience. And the session that I'm gonna be doing is gonna be open as well. And I hope that it's equally as insightful.
Good. That being said, before you get started, for folks who maybe don't know you, what do you do?
Sure. My name is Tiffany Jachja. I am a data engineering manager at Vox Media, and I build innovative data solutions, including machine learning models that utilize first-party data in ethical ways.
Very, very good. Ethical ways. I like that. Nice touch. That being said, if you want to share your screen, go for it.
Sure. Actually, I thought that I would just speak with you all and
Oh,
not have
that's
things
fine.
being shared.
That's okay. That's
So
okay. I
I'm
will give you the stage though. I will just be a voice in the background. All right. It's all yours.
amazing. Amazing. All right. So I prepared this talk because I really thought it would fit in with the theme of being a student, but also like progressing in your career and getting curious and building out, some of the strengths that you may be looking for. Like I know a lot of people are looking for new knowledge, wisdom, more kindness, more community. And I thought that it would be so cool to share some myths around career development and how you can really break through those so that you can advance in not only your career, but also in your life and whatever endeavor that you pursue. Because again, like we like to think that career development or career or professional lives are so different from our personal lives, but there's a lot of intersection. And the more that you're able to understand yourself, the better you're equipped to be able to make career decisions and find opportunities that are really aligned with you so that you feel motivated, you're excited about all of the things. And I think inspiration is just such a big part of how we progress and advance and grow. So I want to share 4 career development tips and then I'll leave with a little takeaway for everyone. So the first myth or stigma around career development is that career advancement means XYZ type of role. And I want to break down this sort of thought process because a lot of times we come into, and even for myself, when I came into my first job, I thought that I had to be a senior and then I would go to an architect path. I never even looked at engineering management, community roles, all of these different opportunities, even pursuing data as a potential role in my future, like a potential path in my career. So I just want you all to break that stigma early on that your path is going to be set out. It's going to be like well defined, and oftentimes like it can be, but oftentimes you end up taking the path that's like least traveled on, or that feels more unique to you because naturally we progress towards the things that we were meant to do. And I really love that concept that career advancement can look like various different things. The second myth that I want to share is that you just need the right mentor or need the right manager to be able to advance in your career. It's really great to have someone obviously support you in that way and share their mindsets and advocate for you. But if you're looking for just the right person or just the right, environment or network, you're effectively leaving your career advancement and your career in someone else's hands. And I used to think like, oh, like if XYZ person will do this for me, like I'll be able to, I'll now be able to step into this role. It actually is great to have someone who looks at you and can give you that feedback, but you have to be able to answer the questions about your career development. You have to have the career development conversations yourself as well. You have to find, what fits you, like what path do you want to walk on, and it can't always be related to someone else. And I wanted to bust that myth as well. The third myth that I wanted to share is that when you feel ready, you'll step into the next role. I think oftentimes we feel like, oh, if we just prepare, like if we feel ready, we're gonna naturally progress into the next role. Obviously, it's really great to prepare. It's really, you can't quite take shortcuts in your career. You have to do the work. You have to know. You have to have the experience. Have have the opportunities. Have like the right mindset around a role or what it means to be in your career. But if you're waiting to feel ready, you may never feel ready. And I see so many people say that, oh, I want to go back to school before I do this. I want to look up this. I want to practice this some more. And a lot of times they're already ready. They've done all of the work. They're ready to step into they're prepared. They have the ability to step into the role, but they don't feel prepared. And so if you're really waiting for that emotional feeling or emotional hit of preparedness, you may not ever feel it, because our bodies also naturally tell ourselves to stay comfortable, to breathe, like to be safe, like be where you've always been, right? And to be able to step into a new role can feel very uncomfortable, and that's just part of career advancement. So if you're waiting to feel ready, don't feel ready. don't wait for it, because you're more prepared than you think you are. The fourth and final myth that I want to bust is that you have to be doing XYZ to advance in your role, whether it's to stay at a company, leave a company, pursue some type of certification, pursue some type of education. I see so many times people will set goals that don't even matter to them in their careers, and they don't feel anything when they hit those goals, because they've set goals because of someone else or some type of other stigma that you set for yourself, that you think, I have to do a certain thing to be able to get a promotion or to be able to advance in your career. And I just really want to bring in like the uniqueness aspect of it, and the fact that people can't look away from people who shine in their area, in their expertise, in their own strengths. And oftentimes a really great manager will be able to help you identify those things. They'll be able to see that. But oftentimes, like, people forget to lean into their personal strengths, what they bring to the table naturally. And for myself, I used to discount that a lot, because I used to see everyone else and how they would articulate conversations in technical meetings, how they would design different technologies, different systems. And I used to feel like I was lesser than somehow, because my strengths were in other areas, right? So I want to encourage you all to really think about what you can be doing, or what feels good to be doing, that's related to you, and not just, I need to do XYZ, because a good manager will help map those two things together so that you do have a really great career advancement. And if you're ever wondering, like, how do I tie like my strengths and what I want to do into the actual business, really have those conversations with your stakeholders, and even people in the community here who have, who are leaders or who are individual contributors, anyone really, that can share more insights into how different, two things that feel very different may be actually very similar. So those are my 4 myths that I talked about. I want to give you all, I want to leave you all with a little takeaway to really be true to yourself, because when I started my career path, like from a student to senior and now manager, and the path really, I went on a personal journey of strengths, like to really find out, like, who am I? What am I good at? What can I do that's really me? And it took me a really long time. And I tried different things, and I was like, well, I know I have certain strengths, and let me just pursue them. But I realized, like, really your personal strengths is really about being yourself. And I have this really great quote that I saved, and it's by Don Clifton. He wrote a book about strengths, but there is no more effective of a way to empower people than to see each person in terms of his or her strengths. So I just wanted to share that, because, in the space where we see each other, we're sharing our thoughts, we're, sharing insights, wisdom, kindness. This can be a really great way for a really safe space for you all to explore your strengths and really progress in the ways that you want to. So that's my session, and I'm so glad that you all spent time with me. Thanks.
Perfect. Tiffany, good. Excellent. So concise, yet so packed with wisdom and lots of cool stuff to unpack for everybody else. I really thank you for the things that you shared. Just so folks know as well too, Tiffany does Twitter Spaces about personal branding. She's super active, very accessible. I shared your Twitter as well here in the chat. Like I said, very practical, and we see this because we see young folks with a very high energy level, but then also very, very demanding with themselves. I invite them to not be in such a rush. I was young once too, many, many years ago, but it's good to be like, what we always try to say is enjoy the process, but I think how you laid that out made it much more solid, and I think people can take those things and then think, all right, what is the next smallest step that I could take in order to be progressing more towards that goal? So anyway, Tiffany, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. See you soon.